Capricorn, this is your December 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, the reading might resonate. Happy solar returns if you've got a birthday this month. It's Romy. Thanks for taking the time to join me. Tune into the channel for our final soul story of the year. Appreciate all your support through the course of 2023. We open up with the energy of the Fool and the progress that you have made through the process of this year. The letting go, the holding on, the accepting, the fighting, the evolving, the stumbling. It's been exquisite, and that journey has led you to this point where we are about to embark on a new adventure, a new cycle, a new experience. And the question to ask yourself is, am I coming from a place of love or a place of fear? Because in December, we will start to feel the release of these almost vice-like grip that has really caused a strain through the entirety of this year and affected you probably across multiple areas of your life. And this is a month where we have to make peace with it all, because what we don't want to do is carry any unnecessary burden or energy with us into that new year. And there is something about the way that you're expressing your energy here that feels liberated. Now in Sagittarius season, we're also activating your 12th house. And overall, the energy for December is one that is coming through with more compassion and more healing. It's helping to break down barriers. It's helping to heal and to soothe. We must remember that compassion comes from the heart and not the mind. And so as you're led through this month and all of the sensitivity that it brings, sometimes the chaos, and it can be a really challenging time of year for people and so many different reasons. But what you're showing me is a willingness to have that leap of faith, to trust that what comes next doesn't have to reflect or mirror what has been. And yet you've grown from the experiences of that. And your wisdom is truly echoing into eternity right now. So don't underestimate the power of your words and your influence through the month of December. Now Venus shifts into Scorpio from the 4th. And so in our relationships, our close personal relationships, there is an intensity and a passion that gets ignited. There's also this relentless need to discover the truth. And the truth feels like it's also wrapped up with you being able to make the decision and the choice to move forward and to welcome and embrace some of the new energy that's coming through with that Fool. Now we're also going to see Neptune stationing direct on the 6th of the month, and this will help in many ways to reignite some of the hopes, dreams and aspirations that you have. And it might feel a little bit bittersweet. We might look back and think, well, I had some high hopes for certain areas of my life or goals that I wanted to attain or accomplish in 23, and it might not have really worked out that way. And yet what we're seeing is this reflection and this real higher awareness. Your frequency is lighter than it's ever been, even if you feel the circumstances and the energy surrounding you or in the collective feel heavier. So we have to be able to kind of discern, and that's why it's so important to be able to access that inner wisdom, that inner knowing. This beautiful waterfall of cleansing light feels like it's also purifying and cleansing and helping to resolve issues. You're resolving within yourself to help you come to terms and make peace with it. You're also going to be in a situation where you're going to have opportunities to resolve things with other people. The compassion is running all the way through this month of December. And, the convoy almost of gifts that arrive spiritually, emotionally, and energetically are there to help you look with critical discernment, but also with hope and optimism at what can change and how things can evolve. And sometimes, and particularly through the last 12 months, we may have had to witness things getting worse before they get better. But as we make our way towards the 12-12 portal and a new moon in Sagittarius, you know, you're seeing something in a brand new light. And again, the kind of spark of thought or the reminder of something that's important or what matters to you gets really brought back into your awareness at this time. Now, Uranus is also making an aspect with this new moon in Sagittarius, so there's likely to be a surprise. Could even be, in some ways for you, a surprise departure or a surprise announcement that sort of leads you off in a new direction. And, you know, there may be some confusion around you, you know, or from people that hadn't necessarily expected or anticipated that perhaps the timing of that would be quite so soon. And yet here we are, you know, time waits for no one. And it just feels for you, it's kind of right on track. And I think there's this importance about realizing that we have to now stay on track. Now, on the same day, we are going to witness Mercury going retrograde, our final Mercury retrograde of the year in your sign. So, you know, this helps with the slowing down. Quite like the Seven of Coins coming in here, because it does help you to assess, and you're fully supported and protected here. You know, you're leaning against the strength and the wisdom of this tree, just taking stock of things, and it helps you to just be more present, more purposeful, and perhaps see where you want to strip back or simplify certain things. You know, again, all part of that release energy in this sort of culminating time of 23. What I will say with Mercury retrograde is just ensure that, you know, any plans that you intend to make, travel plans especially, and any gifts that you might be seeking to purchase for the holiday season, try and get that done ahead of the 12th, because, you know, coming into that transit on the build up to the holiday season might just cause some delays or things going missing, and you know, that's not exactly ideal. I think for many of you as well, there's some really progressive conversations that you're having with yourself and others pertaining to your career, your businesses, your ideas and aspirations for how you want to make your way in the world, and, you know, where you want to make impact. And, you know, a lot of that information, those ideas that start to sort of permeate through December. And even when we, you know, acknowledge it can be quite a chaotic season, there's something a bit different about this year. I think you're detaching somewhat from the consumerism of that and really anchoring and grounding back into a different type of approach. And in doing so, you're open to receiving some of the important messages and downloads that are very, very pertinent to how your 24 is going to start to play out and deliver for you. You might even be setting up things by way of interviews, conversations, meetings that, you know, yes, they won't take place until the new year, but you've sort of got them written in and secured, if you like, in that first part of December. And I think that also serves to help you feel a little bit more at peace. And I think clear-minded in terms of what it is that you want to achieve in those early sort of weeks and months of 2024 without putting the pressure and expectation on yourself. Because I think one of the things that you've learned, and that December's really going to highlight for you, is that, you know, we have to now have this flexibility, this fluency, this nature that says, okay, I'm going to have this bigger plan, but I also have to accept that I'm evolving so fast, circumstances are moving so quickly. You know, the environment, the collective is changing and shape-shifting, and so I need to be able to move with that so that I don't become so stuck and rigid in my plans, and that when my expectations are therefore not met, I internalize that and get very harsh, judgmental, and overly critical. You know, you've come an amazing way, and, you know, I think there's this recognition that you're also really done with many of the sort of transactional relationships in your life, and there's now this quest for much more soulful, enriching, reciprocated people. And, you know, as we approach the sun shifting into your sign, as we welcome the solstice energy, you know, we have this more laid back attitude. You can see how he's just kind of quite laissez-faire there, just really looking out to the horizon, taking everything in, having the wisdom, like I said, you know, that wisdom echoing out, and, you know, the words that you have landing powerfully and not needing to say a lot, but what you do say really has power. But you're also just almost saying, you know, I don't have to pick a side. I can stand for something different. I can look towards the type of future or the type of experiences that I want. And, you know, I can make that, I can be the architect, and I can desire that to be, you know, how I set my intentions for this new year. Now, you know, the two males coming through here also tell me that there's a requirement for you to ensure that you do step up and to some degree like take control or take charge of a certain situation so that it doesn't unravel or cause so much distraction that everybody gets off track. And, you know, whether that's to do with a family situation or something going on at work or, you know, in your personal life. And I feel that, you know, even though there is a winding down that we're experiencing through December, there's also for you this need to ensure something is still properly executed and dealt with and managed effectively so that, you know, that's for the good of all. And you may be seeing early on ahead of other people where some fracture lines or some potential things could come in and start to cause a challenge. And so it's almost like preventative. You know, I see you putting some things in place to ensure that that doesn't happen. So, you know, between that sort of 12th and the 21st, just be aware of how that's landing for you. Again, you know, the sword is laid down, so there's not so much of that combative energy from you, Capricorn. I feel like, you know, you are much more likely to want to kind of find peaceful resolutions to different situations that you might be a part of. And, you know, I think as you look back, you're also going to be really thinking about, you know, what was it through the course of this year that made me feel most alive? And, you know, these are the things that have really helped to shape and to evolve you. And there's something about that as you look back, there'll be specific memories, perhaps even 3 specific situations that you can call up. And you can really think to yourself, you know, this was so defining for me through 23, and this is what I need more of. This is what I'm really kind of putting all of my time, energy, and attention to. And what I really like is we've got the heart and the head energy coming in, but also the time to kind of really reflect and process. So again, we're not coming through too impulsively with, you know, decisions and choices that we need to make. There is one person that I feel is going to have a huge impact on you this month, Capricorn. It may be somebody known to you or maybe somebody new. My question is, how open are you to receive? Okay, because you need to remain in that optimistic, and it, you know, that may be difficult. You may be feeling incredibly jaded, you know, and somewhat of a despair or disappointed or just overly sensitive or emotional, depending on what you have going on. And yet what we're seeing here is that, you know, the gifts that are coming through, and, you know, some of these will arrive by way of this specific person. I don't mean material gifts as such. You know, it's more about what they're going to do for you, how they impact you, how they act as a catalyst for some kind of a change in your experience. But, you know, what needs to happen from your perspective is to be open to things improving or how things can change for the better for you. Now, in the holiday season itself, this year is nice. We have some better aspects than we've had the last few years. On the 25th, Christmas Day, if you celebrate it, Venus is trining Neptune. And the following day, we have the second full moon in Cancer of the year. The first one came through on January 6th. So if you can cast your mind back to that time, you know, what were you letting go, coming to terms with, anchoring into? Because there's almost like this amplification of that, and this also kind of further drawing the line regards to something. Now that full moon in Cancer, sextile to Jupiter, trining with Saturn. We also see Chiron stationing direct. So again, this very healing energy that's helping you to come to terms, to make peace, to find resolution. And through that, Ace of Coins, we also have the opportunity for a fresh start, a fresh beginning. And that may be with people who you've had a very turbulent, difficult time with of late. It may be the complete withdrawal and the letting go of those energies to welcome in new friendships, new opportunities and experiences, the inspiration that may land for you over that holiday period, especially because I see you kind of taking things in a slightly different approach. This stripped back, simplified, more present, more aware of the need for less, if you like. Also helping to cultivate and nurture some new thoughts and ideas that are kind of taking seed in a really beautiful way for you. And then when we make our way toward the end of the month on the 30th, of course, we've got Jupiter stationing direct. So over the last few weeks, a lot of the expansion has been going on internally. And now we start to see the ways in which that's going to manifest for us. So those blessings coming through, there's usually a beautiful gift that shows up around that time when Jupiter stations direct. Again, coming through spiritually, emotionally, energetically for you. And the Ten of Swords really, I think, just heralds that complete release of the year. And yes, it's inevitable that each and every one of us will look back on this year and both from a personal perspective, from a collective experience, have some disappointment at some of the ways in which things have transpired, some of the challenges, some of the sadness, the pain that is, going on. And yet the cycles change and we must move into the new season and we must move on to the new pathway. And so, the endings can feel bittersweet. But what we're also seeing with you is that, like I said, the kind of progress that you've made through the process is actually changed you this year, perhaps more than any other year, I would say. I'd be bold enough to say that. If you really think about how your own personal growth, has taken you on that specific journey. And so, the ending and the letting go, the Fool and the Ten of Swords here, really poignant for you. But remember, the overall vibe of December is the release of this vice-like grip, the making peace with things, the staying on track, and really ensuring that you're open to receive the gifts that want to come through for you on a spiritual level. So this month, my soul journey are focusing upon a series of affirmations that will be incredibly helpful for you, especially if you've got complex, difficult dynamics around family situations for the holiday season or personal relationships and even things going on around your abundance this time of year. I also have a really beautiful closing out ceremony for 2023, again, just helping you to make peace and ensure that you don't carry a lot of that energy through into 24. You can find these in the link in the comment description box underneath. Now, if you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended version of the reading. I'm going to go ahead and pull us some clarifiers to see the direction that we're going to be taking this for you through the month of December. Let's have a look. All the decks that I use are also listed. Hierophant, 5 of Swords, Devil, another King of Swords coming through here, and that King of Wands. Okay, Page of Pentacles. There's these gifts. Like I said, one person having a huge impact on you this month. That Queen of Wands feels like she's the one stepping forth with that. Okay, all the kings showing up for you in December. Okay, so let's take a look at some oracle cards. So this is my own deck, Life Soul Vision. Again, if you're looking for those gifts for the holidays for yourself or others, please check it out over on my website along with my book, Moon Musings. We have the Gathering, Spirit Stag, Heavenly Timing. We have the Rainbow Dragon, the Wild Rose. We have Eclipse Revelations, Destiny Speaks, Full Moon. And Spirit Horse. Okay. So let's have a look at the Angels and Ancestor cards. Okay, we have Spring. See your seeds grow. Beautiful. And we have Peace. Beautiful. So if you want to join me for the extended, we will talk for another 30 minutes or so on this main reading. I'm also going to look at a personal question, a relationship card. I'm also going to give you a preview, major arcana for your year ahead in 2024. Just give you a little insight as to what energy we're picking up as your guide card for the year. Capricorn, have a beautiful season, a peaceful one. Make peace with the year. Thank you so much for all your support. I hope you'll join me for the extended. I will see you again in 2024. Take good care of yourself.